When we look at the situation with the RNLI and what's happening in the channel on a daily basis, thousands and thousands and thousands of these people getting transported across here, it's a very polarising subject because you get an awful lot of people that will still support them and an awful lot of people that won't, and the two can clash, most definitely. Well, what interests me is the effect that all this has on the crews. And let's run through some of this. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Let me know in the comments. Good to see you as always, and thank you ever so much for your continued support for everything that I'm trying to do here. If you are new, please subscribe to the channel, and if you've been here a while, make sure you still are, because the algorithm plays silly buggers every now and again. And be good to check up on your notifications and all the rest of it. Well, the RNLI. Let's have a look at this again, shall we? We know that Rishi Sunak has backpedaled on an awful lot of what he said and has turned around and said there's no simple solution to the problem, blah, 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 blah. Well, there is actually. You just don't want to do it. But what interested me, the videos I did over the last week or so, people are going, oh, you're not being fair on the crews, you blah, blah, blah. What effect is it having on the crews? What's going on? Because at the end of the day, the RNLI crews are all volunteers. They're normal, everyday people like you and me with full-time jobs, and they volunteer their time to go out and do this. So what is going on? Now, there was an interesting piece come up in an article. We'll go through some of the points. RNLI treated as taxi service as migrant crisis worsens, ex-crew member claims. Ex-crew member. Now, this is the way they're starting to be perceived, a taxi service. In fact, not starting, they are perceived as that. The massive increase in call-outs during the small boats crisis means the RNLI's costs have shot up, but it doesn't receive any funding from the government. I mean, could you imagine the dilemma there? I mean, as I've said in many videos, I've been out fundraising for the RNLI. When I was a lot younger, myself and my father used to go out with the orange lifeboats and we used to fill them up, sometimes two of them, because people were quite willing to donate. And that's how they get by, on donations, public donations. Don't get any help off the government. Well, at least not that we know of. And that's the crux of the thing, and they're being put in this position. Lifeboat crews are being used as a taxi service by the government and are dealing with massive increase in call-outs during the small boats crisis, a former RNLI crewman says. The surge in crossings has led to crews on the Kent coast being called out up to 4 times a day, according to David Wimble. He is no longer an RNLI crew member, but still in touch with volunteers in the county. Statistics from the RNLI show that back in 2013, the Dungeness lifeboat station had 9 emergency calls. I've been down that way. But by 2021, they attended almost 100 emergencies as the number of people making the crossing dramatically increased. We've seen that, haven't we? Year on year, it's gone up and up and up. Mr. Wimble served with the RNLI at Littlestone near Folkestone in Kent until 2011 and is now a councillor and local newspaper owner. Well, you know, he would have seen the beginning of this and the numbers would have been nowhere near what they are now. And if he's got, you know, eyes and ears on the ground, so to speak, contacts with former colleagues, you know, it's going to be quite an accurate picture. He told the press it's very hard for businesses to employ crewmen. Some of the local businesses, obviously all the crewmen are volunteers. They don't mind giving up their time for them to do lifeboat duties. But sometimes, last year, they were out 4 times in a day and they weren't coming into work. It's getting harder for the crews to justify giving up their time to act as a taxi service for the government. Dungeness sometimes would only have 4 or 5 jobs in a year, but some weeks last year, it was out literally every single day. His words come after the Archbishop of Canterbury slammed, well, we know what he did, and I think he should keep his neck out. You know, this is the impact, isn't it? At the end of the day, they are volunteers. They do give their time. They have to work it around their family life and everything else. And, you know, it will get to the point where these men think, I can't do this anymore, and walk. And then the RNLI, in more ways than one, is actually doomed because, you know, are these guys going to want to carry on? It really is an awful situation with a massive impact. If you're involved in the RNLI at all, get in touch. Let me know your viewpoint. Let me know what you think of all this. And as always, leave your comments. We'll have a read and maybe go through some of them in the week. Anyway, I'm off. I'll see you soon with one more. Toodaloo.